So the basic idea of these questions is to introduce you to a new fresh concept while you're giving the paper. It is definitely linked to whatever you have already studied and is in syllabus, but instead of giving you one question, they give you a situation. So you have to read and understand the situation and apply the already acquired knowledge to solve the small sub parts. So the first question in this series is related to a sunroom. What's a sunroom? That's a concept, but you can imagine yourself. You know, supposing you are visiting a very nicely constructed house on the top of a cliff, viewing the ocean on one side. Something that you get to see in some of the movies. And, it's a very nice dream house, and one side of the house is facing the ocean. And now what happens is that if you want to have the whole view of the ocean and still you want to be in an enclosure, what do? You remove one wall of your house and you construct a huge sunroom. Now what you can see here, this is basically the projection of the house. It's a complete dome, and what they have done, they have cut the dome into half. Now, since they cut the dome into half, that half dome can fit in perfectly in one wall or one side of your house. So you can remove the wall and fit in this room. And then you can stay indoors in the comfort of your house. At the same time, you can view whatever is outside. Okay, so now we remove this view and we introduce the front view and the top view of the same question or the same figure, right? Have a look at it. So here we have the front view and the top view, and this is the exact image which is given in your question paper, right? So how you relate to coordinate geometry? According to coordinate geometry, now you are not in the house, okay? You are having a nice time in the house, I know. But now please come out of the house and let us focus ourselves as we are going to construct that. Now, supposing we are going to construct this wonderful house, we need to have a plan, which engineers call blueprint. So this is a sort of blueprint given to you, and that blueprint has the y-axis and the x-axis. So you can easily see where the origin is, right? Can you see the origin? Can you see the x-axis and the y-axis? Great. Now, on the basis of top view and front view, we'll be asking some questions and you need to answer them. Now, the first question is, find the midpoint of the line segment joining the points J. Now, have a look where J is. Could you locate that J? And they said J is 6, 17. If you see the graph, what you are seeing is that J point is 6 units ahead of y-axis, that it is at 6 units distance from y-axis, therefore its x-coordinate is 6, and 17 units from x-axis, therefore its y-coordinate is 70. I think you got that point. J, we'll mention 6, 17 on it. Now let's have a look at I. I is 9, 16. Could you see that? Okay. All right. So we have the point J. We have the point I. Let's keep the figure here. And what we do, we zoom in only to that section containing J and I. Have a look at it. We want the midpoint. Okay. So now that both the points are clearly visible to you, we would use the midpoint formula. So what's the midpoint formula? X is the midpoint. So it is always given by x1 plus x2 by 2. Let's quickly see. What is x1? It is 6 plus x2 is 9 by 2. So this midpoint x would be 15 by 2. And let's quickly calculate y. Y is y1 plus y2 by 2, which is 17 plus 16 by 2. 17 plus 16 by 2 is simply 33 by 2. So what's your correct option? The correct option is x is 15 by 2, y is 33 by 2, or 15 by 2, comma 33 by 2. Okay, got it? Let's quickly move to the next part. They obviously say refer to the top view, but then since the origin connects the top view as well as the front view, you cannot only refer to the top view, you have to have the whole picture in frame, right? Okay, so now what they ask is the distance of the point P from y-axis. So we are zooming in and you are going clearly to the point P. Okay, have a look. Now point P is the intersection of the glass panels. So that point P, how far is it from y-axis? Carefully see, it's 1, 2, 3, a little ahead of 3. Okay, now let's have a look at the options. Since all the options are way ahead of 3 or 4, therefore we will choose the best option, which is 4. The option 4 is the correct option for part B. Let's have a look at part C. They say refer to the front view and look at the distance between points A and S. So, can you write down the coordinates of point A? I'll give you a little time to think. Write down the coordinates of point A. Written? It's 1, 8. Okay? Let's write down the coordinates of point S. It would be 17, 8. So, have a look at these 2 points. Now have a quick look here. The points are 1, 8 and 17, 8. Of course, you can apply the distance formula to get the distance. But there's one more thing which you can apply. What's that? Common sense, right? It's not very common, but yes, it exists. Now, common sense is, since the height is same, 8 units. So, when you move from 1 to 17, how many steps you have to take? If you are already situated at 1 meter and you have to go to the 17 meter mark, of course, you will take 16 steps. So, hence the answer is 16 units. Simple. Fine? Now, for the next question, you need to refer to the front view because there are 2 A's and 2 B's. So, be careful. Refer to the front view. Okay, let's have a look. Now, in the front view, they are talking about the 2 points A and B. So, you can have a close look at both the points A and B and let's guess the coordinates of A. They have not mentioned it. Now, you tell me coordinates of A, it will not change, it's the same. That is 1, 8. Alright. And the coordinates of B, if you carefully look at it, it will be 5, 10. Just see. It's 5 units ahead of y-axis, therefore x coordinate is 5, and 10 units above the x-axis, that is the y coordinate will be 10. So it's 5, 10. So let's only have a look at the points A and B. We want the coordinates of the point P, which is dividing it in the ratio 1:3. So obviously the requirement, see, case based only connects you to the part of the question. You have to extract that section from the picture or the graph given to you, and you do relate it and make the question out of it. And now this question becomes, how do we get P? So for that you will be using section formula. Section formula, this point, let us say, is x comma y. Now I'm not mentioning, but you know this is x1, y1. This point is x2, y2, and this is m1 and m2. Alright. So what is the formula? I'll write the formula first. X equals to, you can speak up the formula if you want. M1 x2 plus M2 x1. See, I always like to draw these arches because they help me to remember M1 with x2 plus M2 with x1, and the denominator is always M1 plus M2. Okay, just remember these values will always be in the denominator. Okay, now let's see, x is equal to, now let's just put M1 1 times 5 plus 3 times 1 upon 1 plus. So see, this is 5 plus 3, 8 by 4, which is, okay, so I write the coordinate of x as 2, leaving the coordinate for y, leaving the space for y. Now for y, we have the same formula. Y, that is this y, is equal to m1 y2 plus m2 y1 upon m1 plus m2. So y is equal to 1 times 10, that is 10, plus 3 times 8, that is 24, by 1 plus 3, that is 4. The result is 34 by 4. 34 by 4 is 70 by 2, which comes to 8.5. Now see, you have an option which is 2, 8.5. Yes, that's the correct option. Alright, now, you know, in this question, they're asking certain things about a point x comma y, which is equidistant from both these given points Q and S. Okay? So, if this question comes in subjective, you must use the distance formula to solve this question. I have solved it using that, and the description is given above. You can click to that and get the detailed explanation using distance formula. Now, as this is a 1-mark question, we have these 4 options. So I don't need to find a point which is following an equation. Let me search just one point which is equidistant from Q and S. So how about the midpoint? See, how about the midpoint of Q and S? We can easily get the coordinates using the midpoint formula. which is x1 plus x2 by 2, that is 9 plus 17, which is 26 by 2, that is 13, and 8 plus 8 by 2, actually this 8 doesn't change, so the average will still be 8. So we have got now at least one midpoint, let me call it P, that is one midpoint or a point which is equidistant from Q and S. Just put that value in these equations and check whether they satisfy. So let's put these values one by one. First, we put x and y as 13 and 8. 13 plus 8 equals to 13, no. First option is wrong. 13 minus 13 is 0. Second option is correct. 8 minus 13 is not 0. Third option is wrong. And 13 minus 8 is 5 and not 13. So since the remaining three options are wrong, the only correct option is x minus 13 equals to 0. So that's the correct answer. So with that, we come to the end of the sunroom question. Please attempt the quiz. The link is in the description. Try to solve that quiz to deal with a similar question based on the room and construction and coordinate geometry. That will help you a lot, and then you can assess yourself better. Alright. So whatever be the analysis of your video, I can only get the feedback if you leave a comment in the comment section. Please let me know how we can help you better. Thank you very much.